spotlight. So I am super excited. I'm actually going to take that caption down because that's not the right one, but close. That one is the last conference that we just did, but I'll get that in just a moment. So we're going to do a speaker spotlight today about our What's Next for Your Influence conference. And I am super excited to have my first guest for this series here. Remind me, Blush, is that how you say your name? Blush?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Yay. Excellent. So tell us, first of all, a little bit about you. Like, where are you and what are you passionate about when it comes to influence?
Yes. So I am from Slovenia, Europe. So the other way of through the Atlantic. So yeah, a little bit away. Yeah. uh,
A little bit away.
when we're talking, yeah, a little bit. Yeah, it's a little bit of a 6 hour time difference from the eastern side, but it's uh it's all fine for me. It's also 11 a.m. right now because I work on U.S. time.
Okay.
Uh, Yeah, so just like a 30-second intro about me. Graduate from the U.S. Military Academy at West Point. I was in the military for 5 years afterwards, and then was doing operations mostly from a team leading operations to COO, and now I
Mm,
pretty much do my own thing. I'm an entrepreneur. Um,
nice.
and if you're talking, when we're talking about the question that you asked, like why am I passionate about influence and stuff, is because legitimately, if you want to be a leader, you have to have influence, and you're not going to be able to achieve a lot just with authority. But
Mm,
influence is the one that pretty much builds relationships and moves mountains, and
I
it actually
love that.
builds authority later on.
Love that distinction, right, between influence and authority.
Yep.
And I think that's something we can talk about in this conversation. So, you're going to be joining us on a panel discussion about work relations. And
Yes.
a part of work relations, obviously, is a dynamic between leadership and
Yeah.
the workforce, right, that's happening, but
Yep.
also peer to peer. There's a lot of different ways that that comes into play.
Yep.
So, share with me what's next for you in this area, like with your work relations. What are you currently like moving toward?
So my big thing right now is just building influence amongst, I'm going to say, my industry, and kind of like building as much influence as I can with, I'm going to say, wider audience.
Hmm.
Because one of the things that I really want to do is I want to change kind of like this um, discussion, not only about influence, but about also work relations, how it's supposed to be done, how are you supposed to manage and lead people. Because I
Hmm.
still think that our outlook on how to lead and manage is still in the 80s, 70s, 80s, 1970s, 90s, 1980s, which is a completely stupid thing and a completely ineffectual thing to do.
Yeah.
And I want to really disprove one thing, which especially a lot of entrepreneurs have the mantra of, is first is the hustle culture. I hate
Mhm.
that word. And the other one is when they have the hire slow but fire fast, and I absolutely hate that sentence because
Hire
I
slow but
yeah,
fire fast.
yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Talk more about that.
So I was probably a proponent of this as well. Is kind of like, hire slow, like make sure that all of the i's, all of the dots, all of the t's are covered, have several interviews with a person, and then
Hmm.
if a person doesn't conform or doesn't perform within like the first 30, 60, or maybe even 90 days, and just fire them, right? And then
Hmm.
go and find another person. But the more I studied and the more as an entrepreneur I've been in this, it's like, if a person doesn't perform, it's my fault and my responsibility, because obviously I've hired either the wrong person, or most likely what happens in the majority of cases is I didn't think about who to even hire first. What are their goals? What are the accomplishments that they need to achieve? And I obviously didn't communicate that with that said person. I didn't use my influence to make sure that they know how to even perform their job. And now, I take offense into when people say, like, just fire a person really fast if they don't perform in 30 days or 60 days, which is a lot easier in the US than, of course, in Europe. But yeah,
Is that
one
a
of the
good
others.
thing? Is
No,
that not a good thing?
that's one of the stupidest things that you can have. Like you
Right.
should have work protections for both the individual and
And for the company.
the company,
Yeah.
because it works way better.
It really, I think what this comes down to is, so the topic of work relations implies in that there's actually a relationship. And, what relationship have you built a really meaningful and significant relationship in 30 days or 90 days, right? Like I know in a common like corporate workplace, you are working with someone on a daily basis for the most part. However, even still in that, there's a whole, like, there's the training and there's like learning the culture and there's getting to know each
Yep.
other and each other's strengths and each other's opportunities and all of those things. And so, the way that we actually look at this topic of work relations, there's three aspects that we bring into it. And we're going to be exploring these in the conference. So I want to like give a little taste of this, but I don't want to like give the whole thing away, the whole enchilada today. But I do really want people to get a taste for this because
Yep.
we go deep in these conferences. And we do start with a panel discussion, much like what we're doing right now, where we have a discussion, we bring in different people, different perspectives, and it is a moderated panel. So we'll ask you some specific questions, and then we'll have a discussion about that. And that's
Yep.
the warm up, right? It's warming up our brains, getting us to like be able to really feel into, okay, what is the perspective through which we're approaching this topic? And then we go into a reflective workshop, and that's run by our featured mentor. So different people come in with different frameworks and different perspectives and different questions. But it's all designed to help you reflect on what is this? Where are you actually currently with this? And in that reflective workshop, we're actually looking at each of these topics from three aspects. For work relations, those three aspects are significance, advocacy, and loyalty. So, significance, advocacy, and loyalty. How do those land for you, Blash?
So I'm gonna touch first in the loyalty part, because I think it's one of the most I'm gonna say abused parts of
Mhm.
the work relationships, because here the
Yeah.
companies always demand loyalty from their employees, but they never reciprocate back. It's like, hey, if we don't need you, hey, you're fired tomorrow.
Right. Where's
We
the,
don't
the
need you anymore.
reciprocal loyalty there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and specifically, what like really kind of like triggers me a little bit is when a lot of like employers say like, "Hey, loyalty, loyalty, loyalty." They want you to focus only on your work, whereas let's say some managers, CEOs, like if you go on their LinkedIn profiles, you see they're a board member of like 10 different companies, 15 different charities, or whatever. But then if an employee wants to do, let's say, their own business or something like that, they usually have to do it as a really side hustle, hush hush, because if the employer
Or there's like
cares
a,
about it, it's like,
yeah, like a non-compete,
yeah,
and all of those things. Yeah,
yeah,
I
yeah,
agree. I think honestly, with all three of these, right, it is a two-way street.
yeah, it
And
is.
that is definitely something we embody here at Next Global Events and in our larger Mingle community is that, yeah, we do. It's not that we expect loyalty, but we do require people to show up loyal to yourself first, right?
Yeah,
Loyal to yourself first. Um, Bring in like all of you into the community. That's what
yeah,
honestly, that loyalty to me, it means that you're going to show up fully when you show up.
yeah,
Right. And it doesn't mean that it's like exclusive, as in this is the only thing you're contributing to, because honestly, that's never going to be the case,
no,
right? And I actually don't think that's a very healthy way to go about
no,
it. But when you're here, be here. That's
yeah,
how I see loyalty, right?
yeah,
Um, and then same thing with advocacy is like, yes, I want you to advocate for me as a human, as an
yeah,
employee, as like as a part of the team,
yeah,
but also that I'm going to advocate for myself and that there should be space for that. And I'm going to advocate for this space that I'm choosing to be in, whether that's a company or a partnership or whatever that is.
yeah,
And that's where the significance really is highlighted, right? Like that's where
yeah.
significance comes in. Um, Yeah. Anything you want to add to that or
Yeah,
expand on?
I mean, like with all three, right? And when we're connecting it with influence, is you legitimately can't buy loyalty, or you can't expect it.
Hmm.
You have to earn loyalty from the
Hmm.
person, and the way you do it is by wielding influence, having advocacy for the person. Like the one thing that your employee is going to remember for the rest of their lives. And still have some people. I actually had like a person like 2 weeks ago reach out to me when they were fired from a different job. They reached out to me. We haven't talked in like 2 years, 2.5 years now. And I was probably one of the first people that they reached out. It was like, hey, can I get your advice? And I was never their direct manager. I had never done anything with them remotely, but I
Yeah.
had the influence so that they wanted to go there. And it is earned.
Yeah.
And just thinking about like when an employee, that the employee is going to be standing there for the employer like 100% of the time, like always, is a is legitimately stupid to
Right.
think about this. First, it has to be earned, like we said, like with influence. But all along, especially here, if we're talking about entrepreneurs, and I've had like plenty of conversations about this, one of the most often ones is, why don't my employees care about the company as much as I do? Because it's your
Mm.
company. They're
Right.
there. You're paying them. You're paying them, or
Yeah.
either a 9 to 5 or whatever you decide to. Right? They're gonna be giving you as much as first as you allow them to, as much as your influence to their loyalty is, and that's it. Their loyalty is to their family first, or it should be.
Well, yes, right. It should be to, like I said, loyalty to you first and foremost, to your like your life and your
Yep.
family. But I think that also there's something that you said too about how much do you allow? And for one of my like most passionate things is collaborative leadership, right?
Yep.
And as entrepreneurs, a lot of times you do have a team. That team though isn't necessarily somebody that you hire and give like the like monthly salary to or the weekly salary to, right?
Yep.
It might be contracted, it might be collaborations, it might be people who are peers who are showing up
Yep.
to like in the most committed and loyal way, but you're not necessarily paying them
Yep.
with money, you're paying them with time and care and
Mhm.
attention. And
Yep.
there's a lot of different ways. And I do I'm not shy about saying that I do feel like if you are doing a business, like make money in your business,
Yep.
ask people for
Of
to
course.
pay for the services you are offering,
Yep.
pay each other. Like I think one of the silliest things is the friends and family discount. I think actually pay your friends and family the most and get the discount from like give the discount to strangers because they don't know you yet, right? But I do most things inside out, upside down, and backwards. So
Yeah.
but yeah, like it's not that I don't want to give away value to my friends and family because I absolutely do. And, will invite them willingly into the things that
Yep.
I'm doing. However, how I strive to show up is I want to, like, I value you as a person. I value what you're doing. I want to actually share that value in all the ways, my participation, my money, my all of those things, the contributions. So,
I mean, I 100% agree with you here, because and that's why I laughed so hard, like when you said friends and family discount. It's like you said, like if somebody wants from me, like my friends or family, hey, can you give me that discount? It's legitimately, you are lowering the work or the perceived value of my work just
mhm,
because I've known you for summer, or just because we're family,
right.
right? So, and I just use it as a kind of like an analogy, especially like when employers also say, hey, we're a family. Okay, great. Can you give me a Lamborghini, please, tomorrow? Because I would
Right.
really love one.
Is that how family works?
Yeah.
That's not how my family works for
Yeah. I mean,
sure.
my neither, but I've had this like, hey, we're family, we help each other. It is like the employee is helping the employer, but when the other way comes around, it's like, hey, sorry, I don't have the money. It's like, hey, if I'm a family, you're gonna do everything you can for me. So can
Yeah.
you give me a Lamborghini, or a Ferrari,
Right.
whatever you want? Because I
What
would
does
really love
that
one.
actually mean?
Yeah.
So Good conversation here. I'm very excited about this. We're going to continue this more on August 6th is when you're going to be
Mhm. Yeah.
on our panel. The full conference is August 6th and 7th. We do it from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Central US time. And we do have a time zone converter, excuse me, on our website. So you can easily convert that. The final piece of the conference, each of these sections, right, it happens in 2 hour sections. So we do that panel discussion, then we go into the reflective workshop, then we actually go in breakout rooms and we get shit done. Like we take it in and we reflect on where am I with this right now. So we just talked about work relations. We'll actually look at how are you showing up, like how are you applying significance, advocacy, and loyalty. What do those things mean to you in how you're working in your work relations? And then we go into breakout rooms and we actually do work. We move things forward. And so the last question that I have for you today is we talked about a lot about like employee employer kinds of relationships, and what I would love for you to share is as an entrepreneur, what does work relations actually mean to you? Like, what does that mean?
So the first sense is pretty much treating everybody that you know and that you interact with respect.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody is beneath me or above me, and I will not treat anybody. Whoever wants to talk with me, chat with me, I will always treat them with respect, even though I may know that, hey, I'm probably never going to sell to this person, or I'm probably never going to sell to 99% of those people.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't really matter because I
It still
treat
deserves
everybody the way
respect.
I want to be treated.
Yeah,
And yeah,
yeah,
and
I love it.
yeah, that's what it pretty much like just means to me. And this way, if we connect it to the influence part, right, it's like when you treat people with respect, you gain influence because, believe it or not, they're actually going to remember, oh, Regina is the person that I just felt like really warm about. They're not probably not going to remember this conversation. Probably we won't like in 2 weeks, apart from of course being on YouTube and all of the other socials, right? But
Yeah.
we're going to feel how we so our emotional feelings are going to be persistent. Oh, I talked with Regina, it was an amazing conversation. And
Mhm.
when I'm going to have other amazing conversations, or somebody that I will really feel connected to, and I was like, oh, I'm going to connect this person to Regina because she's an
Mm.
amazing person. And this is how we then turn around the relationships and influence.
Yeah.
It reaches
Oh.
way above our punching bag, pretty much, like however you want to say it.
Yes, exactly. I love that. Yeah, I think that is really true, right? Like, when you treat people with respect and you have respect for yourself and
Yeah,
you build meaningful relationships from that, that is how influence is built.
yeah,
And it's not fear over. I know earlier in the conversation you were talking about that kind of like leadership from the 1980s and 90s of like fear, right? Like it was
yeah,
fear based is really what it was.
yeah. It was,
And
yeah.
I mean, I grew up in that time, and that is what it was. It was like respect authority. I hear Cartman from respect my authority, right? Like that's really kind of what it was.
Yeah,
And I think, wow, I remember that being when I was in high school, and it was like a joke because that was something we heard all the time was you must respect my authority because I'm in this role. This is my
yeah,
authority. And that's not influence, which is what you said in the
no,
beginning. There's a
no,
distinction between influence and authority. And the authority should be like authoring your own experience,
yeah,
coming from your own authority,
yeah,
rather than power dynamic over.
yeah.
So go ahead. You've got one more
I was,
nugget in
yeah,
there,
yeah.
I think.
I was just about to say one thing. So, and this is also what it was in the military for me because that was like one of the hardest things to do.
Yeah.
Is and I always told people, and I still tell them, like even in like so business world, it's like I can respect your position, but that doesn't mean I have to respect you or
Mm,
who you are as a person. Those are
yeah. So,
two completely different things.
so true, right? Like if you're not warranting respect but through your
Yep.
behaviors, then it's not going to make me want to respect you.
I
Um,
I will tolerate you as long as you're in that position, but as soon as you're gone, you will never hear from me again. You will never get like any positives out of me because
yeah.
I just need to tolerate you for that specific small moment that
Yeah.
you were above me, trying to build your authority however you wanted it to look like.
Very transactional, yeah,
Oh
kind
yeah.
of relationship. More good stuff like this from Blaj and the rest of our panel discussions as well, and our featured mentor, and so much more. Keep an eye out for more speaker spotlights coming up, because we will be doing these over the next couple of weeks and sharing more about the conference. So, Blaj, thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for being
Thank you.
here today. I'm excited to play more in the space of this conference with you.
Me too.
Excellent.